Good morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. I've been gone for a few days. I was with my family, taking the little one to Six Flags, Hurricane Harbor, all that jazz. Having a wonderful time with my lady and my nephew. It was a lot of fun. Let me fix the lighting real quick. It's a little dark. A little dark. You may have noticed I shaved my beard. I shaved my mustache. The girlfriend wasn't about it, and I'm all about making her happy. So that's my primary concern, is making her happy. And now my concern right now is making you guys happy. So please like, comment, subscribe, give a comment. Let me know. We have a lot to cover. Apparently, in the last 4 days, while I was, being a normal human, all hell broke loose. All sorts of stuff happened, and Tectone got a dog, which is awesome because I'm a big dog lover. Let me switch my chair real quick because it's making too much noise. Oh, that's better. Isn't that nice? Isn't that just nice and sweet? All right, let me know if you can't hear me. I'm actually going to lower this a little bit. Nice. Lower the camera down a little bit. Get that fixed. All right, let's get into it. First things first, of course, we're going to check this out.
Mega, who is that? Mega, who is this? Who is that? Yeah, what is that? Yeah, get him. Get him. Yeah, get that thing. Get that guy. Who is that? Mega.
That's adorable. That's just the cutest.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, fuck that guy. Get his ass.
Who doesn't love a good little dog video? First thing we see in the
Where is
morning.
he?
I don't want to enable push notifications. Let's go to the top. Oh, wow. That'd be nice. Maybe if I had a big enough following, I'd be a kick partner. I'd love to be a kick partner, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Year-old who, by the way, the Hassan moderator has been completely exposed as a 47-year-old who makes sexual comments about high schoolers. They just searched his name. It seems like it's not that complicated. So yeah, he locked his account. This is some comments that he's made in general. Stop pretending what Elias Rodriguez was bad. Who's Elias Rodriguez? Man charged with first-degree murder? Wait, so this guy's literally advocating for killing random Jewish people. This guy has the entire Infinity Gauntlet. Suspected pedo, political violence murder supporter, weird fetishes, using people's personal things, just lying about it, calling Imru a Zionist, advocating for vandalism, 47 years old. How do you end up with a freak like this as your moderator? Is he still a mod? I wonder if he's still a mod.
Still a Twitch mod and Discord admin for Hassan.
Most of us will never muster up a fraction of the courage displayed. This person needs to be institutionalized.
Okay, so apparently Hassan doesn't do the research into who his mods are. That's hilarious. That's actually kind of tragic. He should probably, look up who's in your circle. Okay, anyway. All right, let's get into it. We have a lot of videos. There's been Diddy updates. There's the whole deal with the big beautiful bill. There's a whole bunch of stuff. AOC got called out by Benny Johnson. Jubilee, one of the Harry Sisson or one of those guys had a mental breakdown about anxiety and all that. It's been a rough ride the last 4 or 5 days, and I missed a lot. So let's catch up. Let's hop right into it with this Diddy stuff. As always, I've already subscribed to the Quarter. He makes amazing videos. If you haven't seen it, you should check his stuff out.
Wow, I'm actually shocked. Diddy is gonna walk. Looks like the verdict is in.
How?
The jury has spoken. And my prediction from yesterday's video ended up being 100% correct. And believe me, it was just a lucky guess. I'm not going to pretend like I'm an expert on it. But what now? Well, Diddy was found guilty of 2 of the 5 charges, but not guilty of the only charges that really mattered. I predicted yesterday that they were stuck on the prostitution charges because there was the same crime committed twice, and they were unsure if that would mean a RICO charge. That's why they were stuck. Turns out that looks to have been correct. Not guilty.
All right, let's see what we got. Not guilty on racketeering, sex trafficking, or transportation to engage in prostitution. Guilty on transportation. What? Okay, so you only got one count of that.
On charge 1, the racketeering conspiracy. Not guilty on trafficking, and not guilty on transportation to engage. No, that
So essentially, he's guilty of getting a hooker. That's what he's guilty of. Okay, he's not the only one in Hollywood guilty of that, I'm sure.
that's not right. They mistyped that. He was not guilty on the trafficking charges. He's only found guilty of hiring prostitutes. That's it.
Shocked.
As of while I'm recording this video, I may have a final answer on this, but as of right now, it looks like he's going to be released on bond today. Given he's already served a significant amount of time in prison for essentially prostitution charges, I don't see how you don't let him out. I mean,
I think they're
he's only been found guilty of prostitutes. So, I mean, are you going to give a first-time offender years in prison for that? That seems really unlikely.
I doubt it.
But let's go to some of the initial reaction breakdown, and then that way, at about minute 7 or 8 of this video, we'll get to the absolute latest in everything. Let's go to Fox News' cover. Here's the original. Here's Fox News.
Is being brought.
Jurors feel persuaded on that charge, whether they're going to find Diddy guilty.
Okay, we have breaking news here, CB, and I just want to tread just a little lightly on this because the jury is being brought into the courtroom now. They are seated in their seats where they have been now for the past 7 weeks. Remember that first charge?
I knew yesterday that they were going to come to an answer really quick this morning. We had the 4th of July coming in. They were all going to go home and think about it last night. So again, count one, racketeering, not.
Yeah, they probably wanted to get home and get ready, man. People have lives they want to live. Nobody wants to sit in a damn courtroom for this crap.
Guilty. Count 2, trafficking, not guilty. Count 3, transportation to engage in, basically buying puss, guilty. Count 4, trafficking, not guilty. Count 5, the second prostitution charge, he was found guilty of.
All right, so there it is. There's what he's guilty and not guilty of. Okay, he's guilty of getting hookers. Let's be honest, all right? He's guilty of getting hookers. I'm shocked that a sexual deviant is guilty of getting hookers. I don't think anyone's surprised that a rich guy gets away with it. I don't see them keeping Diddy in prison for this. I don't see that. I'm sure he'll get out, and after about 5 years of rebuilding his profile, he's still a millionaire. He's still rich. He's still going to have a lot of resources behind him. He's not going to end up in the poorhouse. Sean Diddy Combs is going to be just fine. Okay? Anyone who doesn't want to work with him is not going to work with him, and there's going to be people who do want to work with him. That's just the way the cookie crumbles with these rich guys. They get rich privilege, and that's how it works. All right. On to the next thing. Carmelo Anthony. There's been a lot of changes in the Carmelo Anthony case that I've seen. A whole lot of stuff going down, things coming out. Rulings being changed, judge calling him back. He wants a public defender now. I guess they spent all that money and the judge is saying no. Whole lot of stuff going on. Yo, what's up? What's going on, Emma? Oh, thanks for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. So let's see what's going on with Carmelo Anthony. Again, this is another quarter room video. Like always, we always get a like, subscribe. I'm already subscribed.
Ordering, and the Carmelo Anthony updates are coming fast and furiously. I already have probably a second and third update that I'm going to either try to get out today or they'll be out first thing Monday morning.
Doing good. How are you?
As there's a new cash grab scam running around the Carmelo Fund. But this is crazy. If you enjoy the Carmelo Anthony coverage, please do leave a like on the video. And if you haven't yet, subscribe or follow down below. I thought I wouldn't have much to talk about until the trial, which we now know has been delayed until 2026. But Carmelo Anthony was just issued an order to appear in court, and he has to do so on July 18th. Now, I don't know if this is completely standard or if it's going to be because of the lie that we exposed yesterday, where his legal team or his family, I'm not sure exactly, tried to tell the court that they were too poor to afford legal defense. and they wanted a public defender appointed, even after raising $500,000 and raising that goal to the hilariously obscure $1.396725 million, or rounded up $1.4 million. Pretty interesting stuff. Also,
Hold on. How much did they raise? And they're asking. You gotta get out of here, man. There ain't no way. Y'all are expecting a judge to be so stupid to be like, you guys have raised $540,000. Okay, it should be $540,111. Let's be real. You gotta get that 111 in there. And you guys are asking for a public defender? You're out of your damn mind. You're out of your damn mind.
pretty interesting stuff. Also, due to the good work that Sarah Fields is doing down in Texas, we have the filed copy of the indictment. Now, the reason this filed copy is important is because there was a lot of misinformation. There were people saying it was a cleat sharpener. There were people saying it was not a knife.
Does it really fucking matter? It killed a guy. Doesn't matter what it is. He used it as a weapon. Absolutely. 1 second. I'll give you a follow right now. Right. Huh? Oh, I'm clicking the wrong spot. I'm clicking the wrong spot. There we go. You know, while we're here, we're gonna give Sarah Fields. Is she the one who got the thing for Carmelo Anthony? Sarah Fields censored. Let's make sure we give her a follow. Yeah, that's her.
People saying, and I remember the TikTok videos of people saying, claiming that they 100% had evidence that it was not a knife, and that it,
You know, that's cute and all. To say, oh, it wasn't a knife, so it's okay. No, it's still a weapon. A pencil's a weapon. A spoon's a weapon. If you kill somebody with something, it's still a weapon. It doesn't matter whether it was a weapon of convenience or not. But either way, it could be considered premeditated by your own actions. I understand if people are going to be like, well, if it's a knife, it's premeditated. No, not necessarily. Certain areas in Texas, certain areas throughout the United States are not allowed to have weapons. But, you know, whether it was a weapon of convenience or whether it was a weapon that he decided to keep on him unjustified in a space where he wasn't supposed to keep it, the result's still the same. A young man is dead, and it was at his hand. Now we just got to decide whether or not it was self-defense based on the evidence.
it was crazy. And he
Which it's not looking good for Carmelo. It's not looking good at all.
definitely didn't bring a knife. Well, here we have the first scanned page. There's more to come, so hopefully we'll see here. Obviously, you see Carmelo Anthony, Carmelo Sincere, first-degree felony.
Oh, they changed it. They're doing first-degree murder. They must be charging him as an adult. Is he? I think he's 18 now.
Case number, agency number, that's all like whatever, you know? But here it says, in the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, the grand jury of Collin County, state of Texas, duly organized at the January term AD 2025 of the 219th District Court of the court in the country have said to present that Carmelo
Jeremy does not like reading. I can tell he's not someone who likes to be public reading. I don't like public reading either.
Sincere Anthony, hereinafter called defendant.
In his defense, these documents are not written like a book. These documents aren't written like reading Harry Potter or reading a normal book. They're written to be matter of fact and to be legally binding. So that's why the language is hard for a lot of people to read.
On or about the second day of April 2025 in the county and say did then and there intentionally and knowingly cause the death of an individual, namely Austin Metcalf, by stabbing him with a knife, a deadly weapon. So there's a lot in that sentence that we need to talk about. First, again, the fact that it said knife means that all these clowns that were saying, oh, it was a cleat sharpener, it was this, it was that. Blah, blah. No, it was a knife. Second, there is no mention of any kind of self-defense, any kind of
Let's read this. Then and there intentionally and knowingly caused the death of an individual, namely Austin Metcalf, by stabbing Austin Metcalf with a knife, a deadly weapon. Then and there, with intent to cause serious bodily injury to Austin Metcalf, an individual committed an act clearly dangerous to human life by stabbing Austin Metcalf with a knife, a deadly weapon. That caused the death of Austin Metcalf, against the peace and dignity of the state. Foreman for the grand jury signed hereby. Okay.
nonsense around that, not even brought up. They continue. Then and there, with intent to cause serious bodily injury to Austin Metcalf, an individual commit an act clearly dangerous to human life on Austin Metcalf by taking him with a knife that caused his passing. There is no comment there about, where there was any kind of self-defense or anything like that. But what's interesting too is here is the, more documents to come once they become available. There seems to be some confusion regarding the track meet policy for Frisco ISD. Attention, Carmelo Anthony defenders. This is also important. Quote, school team tents must be set up in the designated area. See map for details. Each tent space is assigned to a team.
Okay, if anyone's going to sit here and say that it doesn't matter what tent he was under, that he has the right to hide from the rain, okay. Why would he go to a school tent where he's not part of that? If he can explain, like he got invited in, which he's going to need to explain in order to say that he's not technically trespassing. I don't think it's actually trespassing because it's all public property and it's all part of the school and they were there for a school event. But anyone who's been to a school event would know not to go to a spot where it's not there, where the t-shirt doesn't match the banner. Like, why would you go there if you weren't starting to stir up trouble? Now, I'm not trying to say Carmelo Anthony went there with the intent to stab somebody. I don't think he did that. I think that was a result of what happened after he was confronted. But for this man to just decide to go to the near, he might have just simply been going to get out of the raid. All right? And then he got confronted and he got upset. I'm just guessing here. I'm not saying this is a fact. And this is where we're at now. There's perfectly reasonable to say that two people did wrong, but one person did something that caused someone's death. It's perfectly reasonable to say that. But it still doesn't make sense to me why he would go to a tent for a school or a team that's not his own. I looked at the weather report for that day. It was raining, yeah, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't terrible. Like, you could have made it to your team's tent.
Team and may not be shared with other schools. Access to the event area where team tents are located is restricted to meet staff, event volunteers, and athletes with proper credentials. I hope this helps clear up the confusion and arguments regarding where Carmelo was, quote, supposed to be on that fateful day. Track team members are not to be under the opposing team's tent. In my opinion, we may see this get very, very spicy. There may be some premeditation here. I have zero evidence of that. None whatsoever. I'm reporting on things, as they come in and funneling it to you with, I try to be honest and, say what I think is true, what might need more information. Obviously, that will need more information. We'll need a trial for that.
It's crazy, and it's actually really sad. It's actually really sad because one family lost a son, and another family is in danger of losing another son. One young man's life is gone, and essentially the other one's life is over at the same time, depending on how things shake up. It's a waste. It's a tragic waste. And it's sad that we have to see this, and it's sad that it's reigniting this whole racial debate when everyone's trying to move on and say, oh, everything's equal, and that clearly there's still angst and there's still things that need to be hashed out, and people need to learn to let go of their hatred. But until that, we're going to keep having situations like this. I appreciate Sarah Fields for doing the work, and I appreciate Cornering for making this video. I'm not going to do his full video because if you want to watch it, here's the title of it. Go check it out. Let's check out other topics. Appreciate Jeremy from the Quartering. Appreciate Sarah Fields for doing the due diligence to find those documents. Thank you. Oh, Dean Withers. All right. I don't know much about this guy. I know him and another one of his buddies. They like to debate. They're lefties. They like to debate on TikTok because TikTok, if you're hosting the debate, you can mute because they don't like having an actual conversation. They refuse to debate with a moderator to where they don't have the deck completely stacked in their favor. So far, I have not seen them engage in a fair fight. That's a metaphor. They haven't done fist fight. I'm just saying they haven't engaged in fair discourse where their deck's not stacked in their favor. They like to razz people. They like to harass people. They even had a entire campaign. Dean and his cohorts had an entire campaign against Charlie Kirk that failed miserably. Where they were their whole idea was to follow Charlie Kirk and TPUSA around campuses to, I guess, combat their message with their own. But somehow they spent over $100,000 on one event and then cannibalize each other under the guise of racism. And it was actually kind of funny how these people can show that there's no way that they can organize a single damn thing. Apparently, Dean had a little crash out. So let's check it out.
There are mainstream media outlets that genuinely believe.
This is Warren Smith. I love Warren Smith. He's a very intellectual man. He's a teacher. If you don't know, he was fired for teaching people not what to think, but how to think, and publishing a video on YouTube. He was fired for that, which was absolute bullshit. But yes, we need more teachers like Warren Smith who teach people how to use their brain power instead of telling people what to think. So let's check it out.
There are mainstream media outlets that genuinely believe this is the future for Democrats.
Could this 20-year-old be one of the Democrats' bro whisperers?
And they call this guy the bro whisperer.
Dean Withers argues online with right-wing stars like Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro. His goal to reach their young male followers. Yeah, so I think it is an absolute joke. It is an absolute joke to believe that this guy is going to influence young men to vote for Democrats.
But you really got me.
Get the fuck. Just
for this.
get the God, get the fuck out.
You look at the
Whoa. All right, that is a crazy thing to see. That is a severe anxiety attack, it looked like. I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist, but I've served with a lot of young men and women in the military in my military time who've had psychological breaks, and that seemed to look like one because he was potentially losing an argument. So that's interesting.
old footage of Dean Withers, what he was doing before this.
While you guys are at home sitting on your asses, I just took a private jet out to LA with $1 million in this rental passenger seats in a Coach duffel bag. Couple grand in the lap. I'm about to go drop it at Louis Vuitton. Living my dream life. What are you doing? Nothing.
So it looks like this just didn't work out, so he switched lanes. So he's clearly willing to do whatever he needs to do and act however he needs to act. So how real is this? It's the vibe, it's the cockiness, the certainty. I've encountered this personality type a few times in my life. It's easy to spot.
So you're kind of popular in like those Groyper circles on Twitter. I'm figuring.
Some of them follow me, yes. Some Jews also follow me.
I'm actually like not gonna allow you to talk about Jewish people. I'm not even joking. If you say anything about Jews,
so what topics are not? You can't have certain topics when you're all about free speech, Dean. That's weird. You're gonna say people can't talk about certain things. Guess what? They exist. Jewish people exist. You can talk about them. You can say what you want to say. You can, if you want to let people look like idiots online, let them look like idiots. The greatest disinfectant is sunlight. I think people should be allowed to say what they want, so we know exactly who they are and who to avoid. We know who the bigots are, and we know who the intellectuals are. I don't think Dean's an actual intellectual. I think Dean's just a actor following popularity.
Jewish people, I'm gonna kick you. Like I'm not even joking.
I wasn't planning.
Look how afraid he is of the repercussions of letting someone speak their mind. Doesn't seem like a very intellectual thing to me.
Need the perception of control.
If you say the word Jew, if you say the word Jewish, if you say
Okay,
it, I'm gonna kick you from the street. I'm being.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Dean is demanding to have the entirety of the control of the conversation under threat and the power of ending the conversation as long as you kowtow to his demands. And if you say something outside that, or if you disagree with him, he will end the conversation with you. It's a very weak mindset. It's a very weak thing for a person like him to do, especially if he's calling himself into the debate scene.
So serious, by the way. But
Okay, well,
anyways,
It is more important that they are perceived to be in control than to actually be in control. It's like that line in Game of Thrones.
I am the king!
He is literally Joffrey. Holy shit, I'm just now saying it. He is Joffrey.
Any man who must say, I am the king, is no true king.
And Joffrey's kind of a prime example of this archetype.
God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety.
Respect is earned, you little shit. You don't just get to say respect me and demand respect. You got to earn it. Parker, that's the other one. God, sorry, I forgot about Parker. Parker and Dean are the ones who had that thing together, and they fired their manager because there's accusations of racism. That's what the whole story was. But yeah, Dean and Parker are two sides of the same anxious coin, and they both are honestly just idiots.
Pin.
Yet it usually revolves around the word respect. If they perceive that you are not respecting them, they will, and yet they will do this to other people, no problem. It's the
people who want to have a conversation do not care really how you treat them. Oh, how's it going, Caitlin? Good to see you. People who want to have an actual intellectual conversation, a lot of people say they want to debate. Let me explain it this way. A lot of people say they want to debate and they want to get into topics and that are not so hard. My best friend, a man I love, who I would die for, his name, I'm not going to tell you his name, but he's currently bravely serving in the military. We do not agree politically. We've had many political discussions, but always with the intent of understanding each other. Always with the intent of understanding each other's point of view. That's why we were able to be friends afterwards. And that's probably what made our friendship stronger, was the ability to show not only are we right about some things, but wrong about others. We always go in there with the, not the ability, but the intention of, if we're wrong, being able to have our mind changed. People like Dean and Parker don't want that. They don't want their mind changed. They want they want to do the mind changing. They want to be right so bad to the point where they will block any discourse or any facts and evidence that go against their narrative, because they are tribalists. They aren't actual people who want to have a conversation and solve problems, because they need these problems in order to be popular. And it's a terrible thing to see. It's not something I enjoy. It's something that's becoming a lot more prevalent in our society. Something I found once I got out of the military is a massive part of the area we live in here in California. People are tribalist with their beliefs, and anytime you challenge them or outright show evidence that they're wrong, they freak out and they call you names. They do ad hominem attack, and they'll honestly sometimes even resort to violence.
The illusion of respect is what they care about.
Right? He had some emotional issues, and it really, really, really came out on a live stream that is now going viral, when he ended up engaging in a legendary crash out meltdown.
I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do.
I'm not going to laugh at this guy, man. I'm not going to laugh at this guy, because this isn't something to laugh at. It's not something to laugh at, someone having a mental breakdown. A younger me would have giggled and been like, ha ha. But, you know, I have PTSD. I have anxiety. It's all in my military record. I take medication for it. But what I don't do is use it as a crutch when I'm losing an argument, which clearly he's doing right now. And the entire premise of what he's saying is, you come here and you attack me and you attack my anxiety. What do you mean come here? You have the prompt. I know what this is. He's doing a debate stream on TikTok. He's going on there and he's inviting people to come challenge him. But as soon as they disrespect him or attack him, he freaks out. And he says he's a victim. He plays the victim narrative. That's what a lot of people do when they're losing a debate, is play the victim narrative and say that you're attacking something that you're not. You're just proving them wrong or meeting them in an argument where they have no ammo or anything to say. So this is not funny. It's not funny to see someone lose it like this. But this is someone who is ill-prepared for what they were doing, and they don't know how to cope with the fact that they could be wrong, and that the narrative that they're spinning and the side they're on could be the wrong one. It's not healthy, and it's not a good role model for young men, especially.
Okay.
Because if you don't know, through life experience, men are the ones that are most prone to violence. If you haven't figured that out, men are the ones who are most prone to do things. This is my anecdotal experience speaking. If I'm being honest, this is just something that I've experienced through my lifetime of working with men and women throughout the entire spectrum of personalities. And men are the ones, in my experience, that are the ones that are most prone to crash outs like this.
So cut the shit. It's not a vape, all right? It's an anxiety pin.
It is a vape. It's just non-nicotine Usually, it's not like you're vaping Valium or anything.
Are you telling me this entire thing was over a fucking e-cigarette? He's crashing out over a vape, dude?
God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is...
Dude, you don't just get to... You're right, Kalen. You're right. They bottle everything up. This guy doesn't bottle anything up. This guy spends his entire day attacking people. This guy spends his entire day attacking Trump supporters, calling them abject evil and calling them terrible names without trying to find the nuance of each personality in each person. He just paints a broad brush, and it's lazy. It's a lazy way of argument. And when he gets called out on it, or when when he's losing an argument, and apparently when someone says something about his vape pen, he's like, freaks out like this, calling it a medical device. Look at his friend Parker in the bottom right. His ally's giggling right now. You can see him smiling right there in the bottom right of this TikTok.
At this point, getting ridiculous, Cody. So please,
justified crash out
for the final.
No, not a justified crash out. Not at all a justified crash out. If it's an anxiety pen, let's look these up. I don't know what an anxiety pen is. Is it a lot like a fidget spinner? Okay, there's a fuckload of them. Okay, so yeah, it's a vape. It's a vape. It vaporizes a flavor for you to smoke it in. It's a vape. It's a fucking vape, Parker. It's exactly what it is. If he's smoking that or something similar to that, it's absolutely a vape. You're just wrong.
And for the billionth time, will you please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pin?
Okay, see, that's someone who is trying to turn their feelings into facts. They're trying to turn their perception into law. They're trying to say that what they see is right because it's theirs, and what you're saying is wrong because they don't like it. When objectively, the truth is, it's vaporizing a liquid, turning it into smoke, and he's inhaling it, whether it's nicotine or not. Nicotine is not required for something to be a vape, Parker. It's absolutely a vape. You can also call it an anxiety pen. It can be both things. It's both. It's an abject fact that it is a vape. And it is also an abject fact that it is your control mechanism for your anxiety. Both things are true. This Cody person isn't saying that it's not for your anxiety. Well, they're saying is it is in fact an actual fact that it's a vape. How is that a controversial thing to say? I don't get it.
Yeah, if you encounter this, just remove yourself from that person. There's no reasoning with people like this.
Not in that state. He's absolutely right. When someone's freaking out like that, it's probably best to remove yourself. If you're in a debate with Parker on TikTok, which God help you if you are, I'll debate him because, you know, I play this game. It's something I enjoy. It's something I do. I'll debate him. I would probably stick through it. But if you're a normal person who doesn't want this kind of stress in your life, I would say step away from it. But yeah, there's a good chance at this point the only thing you're going to be able to farm off this individual is shock value and hate content and probably just make him crash out more. I highly suspect there's a good chance Parker's going to either mute this person or end the conversation with this person.
Dave is your bait.
Yo, you really got me.
Get the fuck. Just
for this.
Get the.
He hung up on him. He rage quit. He hung up on him. See what I mean? Usually these people who are going through this kind of, I call it going into the black, which is a military term for training. Whenever you cannot comprehend what's going on around you and you default to your baser instincts or fixate and get tunnel vision, we call it going into the black in the tactical community. It happens to all of us. It has different triggers. It's not something that you can train for until it happens to you. And unfortunately, not a lot of people cope with it. Not a lot of people know how to deal with it, and Parker clearly doesn't.
Get the fuck out!
Get him out. I hate women.
And then what happens after the crash out inevitably is they retract. So they won't apologize, but they won't act like they did anything wrong, but they're trying to fix what just happened.
Guy basically is saying that he wasn't being serious, right? And that somehow this was satirical, right? I guess that, I don't know, maybe he's trying to be an actor. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's, I don't know what it is.
They'll call you up or text you and say, hey, I'm willing to negotiate or be relaxed about this. It's easy to get to fall into that, but then they'll just inevitably do it again. So just don't play this game.
and he can claim that he was just acting or that he was, I don't know, referencing something or whatever. He can make all the excuses in the world, but it's just weird.
I think it's more likely that this is a result of that personality type rather than some elaborate trolling performance. And it's always these guys that they're either a little overweight or they're just not, so they're already insecure around their physical appearance. The moment that they feel like that line has been crossed or embarrass them in some way, they will react and overcompensate.
That's the only thing.
Nah, she's kind of annoying, not gonna lie.
No, that's not true. You would date me the last time you told me.
Whoa, okay, hold on. I'm about to kick you off the fucking show.
Why?
You think I would fucking date you? Don't fucking try to slander my name like that.
It causes everyone in the proximity secondhand embarrassment.
You just didn't answer. That's the thing.
Yeah, but I don't like when girls come on the show and be like, oh, he was in my
Okay, well, you know, if you're in their DMs, clearly you probably shouldn't be. I'm not saying I know the nuance of whatever is going on here. I've seen the Whatever podcast, and they do bring a lot of girls on there that say a lot of slanderous things and things that aren't true in order to paint a narrative. So that could be what's happening. But I will say Brian is crashing out here and that he is a little overreacting. He might genuinely be offended by this, but I have a feeling there's more to this story between these two.
DMs.
No, I didn't say you were in my DMs. I didn't say you text me.
Hold on. She just changed her story. She just changed her story.
I didn't say any of that.
Yeah, but don't play this fucking game of like, don't falsely accuse me of shit that's not fucking true.
But I didn't say
Understand?
that you messaged me or anything.
Huh?
Did I say that you messaged me or talked to me or anything?
What did you say?
I said, oh, you would date me, right?
When did I say that?
That's not what she said.
It was a joke because you didn't.
Oh, okay. No, he's absolutely having a valid crash out right now. He's absolutely having a valid issue with what she said. Let's go back and watch it. I agree. It's definitely drama farming. I'm just investigating what actually was said right now.
Everyone in the proximity secondhand embarrassment.
Come on the show and be like, yeah, but I'm
You just didn't answer.
causes everyone.
about to kick you off the.
You would date me the last time you told me.
Okay, you would date me the last time you told me. That's exactly what she said, right?
Me or anything.
What did you say?
I said, oh, you would date me, right?
When did I say that?
It was a joke because you didn't.
Okay, so she's a liar. She's a liar. That's a common theme with people who like to say accusations to get out of a conversation. She's absolutely lying because she just changed her story in what I'm guessing is a span of 30 seconds. All right. I would say he's overreacting, but he's absolutely right for telling her to, or at least bringing light and saying, tell me, and holding her down and saying, yeah, exactly what did you say? When did I do this? Give me dates, give me times. Because she's accusing him of something that would completely destroy his entire podcast, theoretically. If that came out, that he was doing that, if he was asking all these girls out there, because if you don't know what the Whatever podcast is, they bring women who do certain activities online. Some of them are Instagram models, some of them are intellectuals. A lot of them are on the feminist side or usually on the left side. And they bring them on and they call them dumb whores. That's pretty much essentially what the Whatever podcast does. And sometimes some of them are dumb whores. All right, because the definition of a whore is the person who does sexual acts for money. So a lot of them are OnlyFans girls. And yeah, that technically meets the definition of a whore or a prostitute. Not all of them are. There's actually been quite a few women on there who are insanely smart doctors, psychiatrists, scientists who come on there, and they even go after the OnlyFans girls. But basically, they're just farming content for controversy. That's what the Whatever podcast does. They're actually, sometimes it's entertaining, sometimes it's not. All right, it depends on different strokes for different folks. But the bottom line is, she made a claim. He got mad because it was a lie. Now she's going back on it, so I believe personally that it's a lie.
It didn't answer the question.
It didn't seem like a joke.
Because it's so odd and strange. It's not a natural progression that you usually see, which is why.
Well, that's because she challenged him in front of his audience about something that he knew was false. And she knew was false, so it made him angry. If anyone had something like their career on the line over a single lie, like Brian does in this case, I could understand them getting angry or wanting to set the record straight. But I do agree that he did overreact or did not act appropriately to get that done.
Why we're seeing.
But then again, I'm Captain Hindsight. Like, there's been plenty of times where I've crashed out over people lying about me, and I didn't handle it with beauty or grace, just like the rest of the population. None of us handle every situation with beauty or grace. All we can do is try our best the next time it happens.
seeing this go viral because it stands out so much. It's a flip, an emotional switch just flips.
But I'm telling you, it was a joke. I did.
Okay, so it was a lie. It was a lie. She's trying to do everything she can to not say it's a lie. She
didn't
lied.
tell you, messaged me or anything. I didn't do anything of that. Just say sorry.
And they always have to be in control of the platform. It's on their show, on their terms. They have the mute button. They can move on to the next guest. They can kick someone off of their show. In the same way, this guy is really ducking Destiny and pretending that he's not.
If you continuously refuse to talk to somebody who is open to talking to you, you are continuously, you are running.
Okay.
You would say that about anything.
Yeah, Destiny, do you feel like I'm running from you right now?
Real.
I do feel like you're running.
Destiny exposed this crazy story.
If you don't know who Destiny is, he's an insanely smart individual on the left. Probably smarter than he knows. He's very intelligent, but he... Oh, thank you. Welcome, Purple. Appreciate you. But he's an insanely smart individual on the left. He's probably one of their best... He probably is the best debater that they have on the left. All right? He's their version of Andrew Wilson. They've actually clashed quite often. Maybe I'll cover some of their content. I don't agree with everything Destiny says. I don't agree with the majority of things Destiny says, but when Destiny has the point, he absolutely nails it down, and he spreads out the facts, and there's no disagreeing with him because when he's right, he's right. And he's right quite often because he takes fights that he's right about, like a smart person should. He doesn't usually go in without doing his research, but when he does go in without, he does sometimes go in without doing his research, and he gets absolutely destroyed for it. So, is he intelligent? Yes, but he's like Batman. He needs prep time, just like any of us do. But you should, if you don't know who Destiny is, you should check him out. And it's 100% a fact that Parker and Dean ducked Destiny.
How this guy flipped out over microaggressions.
What happened? The organizer of the pack,
Yes.
their name is Z, had gone on to a TikTok.
Oh, this is the story about how their Turning Point USA shenanigan, where they were going to follow Charlie Kirk around, went up in flames. Because the key word was the organizer Z, I'm remembering now, and a call with all the people who were supposed to be helping her. It seems like Z was holding the whole thing together. Used the words "you people" to talk about the group in the conversation. And the people who failed at their job got pissed off about that verbiage and said it was racism. And Dean and Parker kowtowed to it, fired Z, and branded her a racist. A long-time leftist ally that completely hates anything right-wing, completes fighting her whole life against anything racist. I've watched the video. She didn't say anything racist, and I'm not defending Z because I think Z's a fucking idiot. But these guys cannibalize their own in order to save any kind of brownie points. That's why these two are fucking cowards.
Live and been microaggressive against black women in that space.
It sounds like she went onto a live and basically told them, hey, like, stop saying that this is disorganized or super disorganized. It makes the people that are working here feel like shit. And then we were like, we're black and we feel like shit. And I can't believe you would tell us to blah, blah, blah. It was insane. But holy shit. This is insane and unhinged and disgusting.
Just the other day, he went on stream with Destiny.
I should wait, ran or run in, right? Because the preface of the question that I asked was like specifically in relation to this live and the fact that I don't feel as if I'm running from you.
And he talks to Destiny about, I'm not ducking you. He won't debate him right there because he has to go eat his pizza.
You are running from Destiny. You went on live saying you wouldn't debate him.
Yeah, I said on live a while ago that I won't have a conversation with him. However, your comments that you made on the stream was in reference to the fact that I was in this stream and you're acting as if I was running from him right now today, when in all reality, I'm just trying to eat dinner with my girlfriend.
But then he sits there and talks.
Bro, what are you talking about? You turned your camera on and you joined this space. What do you mean I'm trying to eat dinner with my girlfriend? No, that's completely you trying to create a scenario where you have a justifiable reason to leave. You're intentionally, you put time aside to do this thing, and now you're saying you have another thing you have to do that wasn't before. Like, I know things happen and all, but I'm pretty sure dinner isn't something that just pops up. Pretty sure that's something that most people plan out.
For 45 minutes.
You've spent how much time on this panel now?
It's like, I thought you had to eat your pizza, but...
So regardless of what you were doing, if you would have been sitting at home playing Fortnite on your fucking couch, you still would say, I will not debate Destiny even though I'm not busy right now.
Oh, okay. So you're basically saying that the reason that I was running wasn't because I was busy, but it's rather because if I wasn't busy, well, then I wouldn't have talked to him. And I'll just say the same thing that Destiny said a little bit ago. My grandma didn't have legs and had wheels instead. She would have been a bicycle. So then I come up here, I turn on my camera, I show you my pizza, and I was like, no, I'm not running.
Yes, because pizza takes a massive amount of brain power to chew and eat. You're right. You're
I'm
right,
just
Parker.
eating my pizza. Then I was gonna drop after that. Next thing I know, the pizza's gone. All the bags are packed. Even though I just spent a decent.
I think you should
amount
just
of
kill
money
us on the spot for that.
All right, well, that's Parker showing once again that he is an unhinged, kind of a moron. Has apparently anxiety and issues he needs to go with, and showing that he is someone who does not mean what he says. Maybe you should not listen to him. Now, if you don't know about this next topic, there's a lawsuit going on in the streamer community. Ethan Klein threw some bait out, and a couple people hopped on it, known as the content nuke, against Hassan Abi, and they outright said some things that are going to get them in a lot of legal trouble. Okay? But before we cover that, I got to use the restroom, so I'm going to just hit this little button right here, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Let's get into this. This is Legal Mindset. He's covering the whole situation of Ethan Klein suing these content creators. I think it's Frogan, Denims, and Casey Tron for basically stealing his content. And not only that, they decided to outright say in their videos of it that they were intending on doing this to keep him from getting revenue for the video he created. So that is illegal. That is not fair use, and they're about to learn from that. And this is the lawyer going over the facts of the case from his perspective.
Hassan Piker is crying bias in the Ethan Klein lawsuit, both in the system at large and from law tubers like myself. So we're going to get into that today on The Legal Mindset. We teach you to be your own judge. I'm Andrew Esquire, American attorney, and this is a fast facts premiere, giving you the hot and dirty business in a shorter version, a packed version. If you've been liking these, let me know below. A lot of you guys are new to the channel as well, so welcome, and I hope you love the coverage. My goal is to be objective, entertaining, and give you education about the law. So that's what we focus on here. But today we have claims from Hassan that indeed the system and also the lawyers covering it, like myself, are not being objective. So I want to get into some of his arguments here today, both of those, and we of course have clips to back that up. So let's get into the first one here, where he is talking about the lawsuits more at large in the system. Let's hear what Hassan has to say.
All this while snark subreddits and similar harassment just caused another creator to commit suicide. Yeah, I heard about that. The Fox Sanctuary woman. It's so sad.
I don't know if, and I don't know what the implication here is, whether he's trying to imply that something might happen, but you know, let's continue here. There's a lot of dead air.
The legal complaints are in California for Denims and Frogan. Wait, what do you mean?
So this is another point which I think is very interesting is, you know, a lot of people can comment on stuff, but I'm not sure whether he doesn't understand what a legal complaint is.
The legal complaint is where the lawsuit is being filed, Hassan. It's where the jurisdiction in which the laws of that county or state are going to be upheld for this particular lawsuit. It means they got served in California, probably because that's where they live.
Or he doesn't understand how lawsuits work. I'm not really sure what he doesn't understand, but it's always very interesting when people decide to comment deeply on stuff that they really have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, call it for what it is. He's abusing the legal system the way Stalker.
How is he abusing the legal system? He's filing a lawsuit. It's not abusing the legal system for you to sue somebody. That's not abuse. Now, if a corporation goes after an individual for something that is outright a lie, yes, that would be abusing the legal system. But these three individuals outright laid out their intention to stop Ethan from getting the revenue from the video he created by essentially stealing it and playing it on their streams over tens of thousands of viewers.
Bloggers do. No, that's precisely what.
Not only did they make it to where Ethan didn't get the revenue for those views, they actually got revenue. They got paid to do that. They got paid for every view they got. They made a lot of money from taking Ethan's content as soon as it came out, because they were waiting for it. They streamed it live. As soon as he dropped the video, they stole it, played it on their stream, said their intention to steal the content so that he would not get paid for it, to get him to not get views, and they also got paid to do that. I don't understand how that is abusing the legal system for him to say they did exactly what they said they did. Am I crazy here? Am I retarded? Chat, like, if somebody tell me, am I crazy? Am I misunderstanding
What he's doing? But in this circumstance, because the legal system is fucking busted, because the legal system is fundamentally broken, if you have a lot of money, you can do this kind of thing.
I know Hassan Piker, multi-millionaire, living in a $3 million mansion, leasing a Porsche GT, whatever the hell, is not talking about rich people suing poor people. I know that's not what he's saying right now.
When you're depraved and you're...
By the way, a lot of these guys are Hassan supporters. These are Hassan orbiters. If he felt so bad about them, maybe he should, pay their legal fees, but he knows it's a losing case and he knows what they did is wrong. So Hassan is 100% virtue signaling here. He's 100% full of shit.
You're manic and you're an insane person, and you don't care about like wasting unlimited funds, especially considering that he does technically have virtually unlimited funds. You can be a vexatious litigant.
Let's stop.
What the fuck is a vexatious litigant? What is that? I have never heard that term in my life.